Welcome to Driven by Janelle, the podcast where passion meets power and women take the lead on two wheels. What drives you to ride?
Great. Hey guys. So today we're joined by Ella Rossi, founder of Strange Ones Motorsports, a tight-knit community that grew from 4 friends to 150 riders in just 5 years. From racing ambitions to building bikes from the ground up, Ella's story is one of passion, resilience, and the thrill of the ride. So let's go ahead and welcome Ella Rossi. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So we're here in Charleston, and are you from Charleston?
No, I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I moved here in 2008.
Okay, and just loved it ever since.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I realized I could ride motorcycles year-round here.
Yeah.
So that's why I came.
Yeah. No, that's great. I will say, even with the weather being a little windy here today, it's still warm. It's still, I saw a surfer outside. So yeah. Well, I'd love to learn more about what motivated you to start Strange One Motorsports.
Once COVID had hit,
Okay.
nobody was working. Everybody was off work. It was beautiful weather. I had looked for groups to ride with, and I found that a lot of these groups were just not riding in the way that I would want to ride. It was kind of the dangerous situations that we were getting into. So we have like a community Facebook group for all riders, and I put a post out and I said, does anybody just want to get together and have a chill ride, just ride around the neighborhood or the city? And my dad thought I was crazy for doing this, right? Like, I'm just a girl, and I put this ad out that just says, if you want to ride motorcycles, meet me in the parking lot and we'll go
I'll
ride.
be here. I'll be at this place at this time.
Yeah. And my dad said, this is a good way to get killed. And I said, no. I said, the motorcycle communities, they're all good people. And I ended up making 4 friends that day from totally different backgrounds. Some military kids, some a couple of these 2 like really religious kids from Utah, so they didn't want to go near a bar, and then the military guys were like, let's go to the bar. I was like, let's just ride around. So that's what we did. We just rode around, and 4 went to 5, went to 10, went to 20, and now here we are 5 years later, and we've got well over 150 members. Our weekly group rides have anywhere from 40 to 50 riders on them. We do monthly events. We bring out 200 bikes, and it's incredible what it's turned into just from me saying, hey, anybody want to ride around?
So how do you grow? I mean, so you guys do weekly rides, and do you just always go to the same spot?
Yeah, so we always meet in the same spot for the past 4 years. The business owners, we meet behind a Mexican restaurant. The business owners know us. They wave as we pull in, and we have a certain time that we meet, and everybody just kind of shows up, and we have rules. You have to wear a helmet, you have to wear gloves, you have to wear full gear. I'm big on safety gear. But yeah, we ride to a different restaurant every week and sit down and eat dinner together, and it's like family, We'll have 30, 40 people push the tables together in the restaurant, and it's fun.
Do you let the restaurant know, or you just?
Oh yeah.
That's a lot of people.
No, we call ahead and we explain hey, there's going to be 30 or 40 of us, but we're easy to deal with, and everybody knows to tip well when we're in that big of a group.
Right. That's amazing.
It's fun.
So you just grew it. Is it that people knew for word of mouth? Did you constantly post? Were you trying to go big? Or?
No, we weren't trying to go big. So at the time that I started this, was working for a Harley Davidson dealership as a salesperson. So we would meet. I was the last one off work, so we would meet in the Harley dealership. And the way that we got our name was we were just a bunch of friends, right? We didn't have a name. We were just friends riding around. And my boss at the Harley dealership came outside one day while we were meeting up, and we had sport bikes, adventure bikes, Harleys, Groms, all different types of bikes. And people assume we're a motorcycle club, which we're not. But from the outside looking in, we kind of look like a club because we get together, we ride together. And my manager looked at me and he goes, man, y'all are a strange group. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, clubs, it's usually like a Harley club or a sport bike club. He said, you've got everything. You're just strange. You're a bunch of strange ones. And it stuck. We loved it. We thought it was funny. And I said, yeah, you know what? We are a bunch of strange ones. Everybody in our group is, I think motorcyclists, you get into motorcycles because you're looking for a couple different things, a rush, camaraderie, things like that. So I think everybody that rides motorcycles a little bit strange in their own way. So it fit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the rest of your gear? Like what kind of?
So I have a D-Air jacket by Dagnese. It's got the airbag built into it. My favorite jeans are the Kevlar jeans made by Bullet, and then Dagnese boots and gloves. I just found that Dagnese tends to hold up a lot longer. I like Alpinestars as well. But yeah, I'm geared from head to toe. I have been guilty in the summer of, just wearing a t-shirt or a sweatshirt, which is dumb. I should be in gear all the time. But sometimes Charleston meet,
Yeah, it's
a
hot.
leather jacket, you get overheated and the last thing you want to do is pass out on your bike.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
They don't make jackets with like air conditioning.
No, they make mesh jackets.
Yeah, they have heated jackets, so they
Yeah.
can just get cooling jackets.
We need to come up with that.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that.
Yeah. Especially because in this weather in Seattle, it never gets like that hot.
Yeah.
So I think that's the beauty of it. It's like I can almost always be in gear, and
Yeah.
once you hit a certain speed, you're cool. But down here, I mean, it was fun.
Oh yeah, it gets hot here.
Yeah. Do you think like the pandemic at all influenced like your growth, or how do you think the?
Yeah, so during the pandemic was when we were probably the biggest. Again, nobody was working, we were all living in this weird reality where we had money to spend because we were getting the checks and we didn't have to go to work. And so we would literally meet up at 9 o'clock in the morning, have breakfast, ride until 12, 1 o'clock, have lunch, ride until 8, 9 o'clock, have dinner, and then go home. And then meet up the next day and do it all over again.
So that was it was all day.
It was all day, every day for a couple weeks that we were doing this. And it would be anywhere from just the 4 of us to, that's where it really grew. It went from the 4 of us to about 20, 25 of us within a couple weeks because people started talking about it. Hey, I saw this group and they wrote, we're riding through Charleston. How do I meet up with them? And I would tell them like, hey, just meet in this parking lot. And then it got so big that I kind of made it a little bit harder to find us, just because I didn't want the group to get too out of control. It's hard to manage 40 riders and keep everybody together, especially in Charleston traffic. But kind of leveled itself out now, and we average, about 40 participants every Wednesday.
And how long is your ride?
So we usually meet up at like 6:30. Kickstands up at 7. We'll ride, to a different restaurant, different part of town every Wednesday. So we'll ride anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. It's tough during the week because people can't stay up late because they got to go to work in the morning. So we'll do just a quick ride, hour, 2 hour ride, go get dinner. Anybody that wants to ride after dinner, we'll go to a place downtown called the Battery, which is just like a pretty spot to look at the ocean, or the inlet actually. So we'll ride down there and hang out, talk, and then we all head home.
So you said you used to work at Harley. Did that influence you at all, or how do you? I guess what kind of bikes do you have? You have Harleys. You have.
So I used to own a Harley. I had a Harley Sportster. Ended up selling that bike just because I started riding when I was a little girl. My very first street bike I bought when I was 20 years old. And even though my dad got me into motorcycles, he forbid me from riding on the street. He said, it's okay to ride in the dirt. I do not want you riding in the street. Growing up, I had an uncle who wasn't an uncle kind of thing. He was in a wheelchair because of a motorcycle accident. So he always preached that to me, no riding on the street. Well, didn't listen, and at 20 years old, I bought a 1971 Triumph Bonneville. And I fixed it all up in my kitchen at my apartment, and I didn't tell my dad about it. If my dad would, come visit, I would hide the bike, and he didn't know about it. I think he did know about it, but I was under the impression he didn't know about it. Yeah, so I still have that bike. I never got rid of it. It was my first street bike, so I still have that. I have a 1974 Honda CB550 chopper that I also built myself. That's the bike that I wrecked, and then after I wrecked it, I rebuilt it. I have a 2008 Yamaha R6 track bike that I ride on the track. I have a 2009 Yamaha R6 that I ride on the street that I've dubbed Nora. And she is my prized possession. I got that bike for $2,400
Wow.
in 2019.
Wow.
And to date, I've got probably $12,000 invested.
Wow.
Yeah, everything on that bike has been replaced except for the wheels and the frame.
Wow.
I just recently put a motor in it. I put 75,000 miles on the motor and it finally gave up, so.
We're done.
Yeah, my boyfriend, my best friend and I put a new motor in it last summer. But that's my prized possession. I have 2 dirt bikes, a 2003 Honda CR 125 and then a 2009 Honda CRF 150 race bike. And I have a Yamaha R3 and my boyfriend has a bunch of bikes that we kind of share. I get to ride. He's got an R1, a BMW S1000 RR, and a Gixxer 600.
So all kinds of bikes.
And then he's building a Harley right now. So
what is he building?
Sportster.
Okay.
Yeah, he's building it for stunt riding.
Yeah, those are so cute. I mean,
they're cool bikes.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of different bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do a lot of different kinds of riding.
Yeah. We just went and rode dirt yesterday with the local Triumph organization. They do like a demo days. We work a lot with the Triumph dealership down here. So we had a fun-filled day of dirt yesterday. My legs were still a little bit sore from it.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. That's so many bikes. So what did your dad say when he found out? Or did he find out?
No, he found out, and he was like, just sell it. It's not worth it. You don't need to ride on the street. It's not worth it. I sold my bikes for that reason. And now he's kind of accepted it, that that's what it is. And I'll talk to him about it and I'll call him if the bike's having problems. And my dad's a mechanical genius and he'll help me fix it over the phone, try this or try that. And he's now just accepted that this is what makes me happy and this is what I do. And he thinks the whole Strange Ones thing is pretty cool too.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that is, it is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad always had me on something motorized. When I was 3-4 years old, I was in the Power Wheels cars, and I rode it until the battery ran out. So my dad put a bigger battery in it, which made it a lot faster. So I had like the fastest Power Wheels in the neighborhood until the battery caught fire, and then I didn't have Power Wheels anymore. But then he put me on like go-karts and things like that. And my first bike I got, I think when I want to say 7, maybe 8. But it was a big bike. It was way too big for me. I had to like stand on a milk crate to get it going. And if I stopped, I would have to put my foot up against a tree. And it was an older bike, it was heavy. But we lived in the country. And that's my little brother and I just spent every day in the summer riding our dirt bikes around. And
That is so cool.
eventually we got, better bikes, nicer bikes. My brother still has my childhood bike. He fixed it up and he rides it now. If you've got kids, I think the younger that you can start them, the better. Like this track riding that we do, I see a lot of these kids get into it at like 18, 19, 20 years old, and they pour all this money into it, and they aspire to eventually become racers. And the odds of that when you're getting into it at that age are so low. Like most of these guys that end up doing Moto America or Moto whatever race they do, their parents had them on bikes when they were little, had them racing when they were little.
Speaking of which, so you are training, you have trained. I really don't know much about motorsports.
Okay.
But you're training to be licensed, right?
Yes. So right now we are doing what we call what is called track days, where you go out and you get on a legitimate racetrack. We do Carolina Motorsports Park in Kershaw, South Carolina. We do Roebling Road Raceway in right outside of Savannah, Georgia, and we're training. We're out there. There's no winner. It's not a race, but you've got coaches out there who do have their race license, who know how to race, and they are teaching you the lines, how to corner, your body position, things like that. And you work your way up through the classes. You start off in novice, and then intermediate, and then advanced, and then you can do a mock race to get your race license. So I'm working my way through those classes. Because my end goal is I want to be a coach. I want to go to these track days and I want to coach other people, women especially. My inspiration is a coach. Her name's Heidi Luce. She's amazing. Shout out to Heidi. And she races with Loose Cannon Racing and Savannah Gypsies. And she's incredible, and she's such a great coach. And she's inspired me that I want to kind of follow in her footsteps and do the same thing that she's doing. So right now she's coaching me and teaching me so that someday I can teach with her. Yeah.
Wow. So I mean, how is it? I mean, there's so many skills. I mean, learning how to do so many, because biking in the dirt, riding in the street. How is it different?
It's totally different. Yeah, so, before I got into sport bikes about 5 years ago, again, I rode choppers, I rode slower bikes, cruise around bikes. I didn't have a bike that would go over 100 miles per hour. I didn't really care about the twisties and things like that. I was just riding on a Sunday by myself to ride. I got into sport bikes and I had a couple guys trying to teach me how to corner, and it was the opposite of what I knew from a dirt bike. Like a dirt bike, when you go into a corner, you're pulling in the clutch. As you're coming into the apex of the turn, you're letting that clutch out and kind of throwing the bike. And well, if you do that on a sport bike, you're going to be sliding across the road. So it's a weird dynamic, like it took me a while where I would be on dirt on Saturday and on street on Sunday. And I would have to tell my brain, like, okay, don't do what you do in the dirt on this, because you're going to end up, washing your front tire out or sliding your back wheel out and hurting yourself. But your brain kind of gets used to it, your brain will recognize the differences. And eventually, I know you're a new rider, and I tell new riders, the one thing that overwhelms them the most is, how do you remember to do all this stuff? How do you remember? Eventually, it becomes second nature to the point where when I teach low and slow and I teach new riders, I have to think really hard about what I'm doing because I've stopped thinking about it. Yeah. So it just, after a while, becomes second nature. And it's okay. Yeah.
Just doing it over and over and over.
Yeah. So now, like yesterday, I was on the dirt all day. Today, I'm on my street bike. I didn't even think about the transition. Just
nice.
My favorite racetrack is Revving Road Raceway, where it's all a right-hand kind of dominant track. But if you figure the track out, you can ride it without hitting the brakes except for turn one. Turn one is a very sharp turn, but when you've got like mile markers that kind of tell you, and you base your braking off that. I mean, the pros are going to brake right before the apex of the turn. Beginners are going to brake very early, but it's different for everybody. Everybody has their own, their own way of riding. But your goal is to brake as late as possible, and that's where things like trail braking comes in, where you're braking as you're entering the turn. But I mean, it's heavy braking. It's not like street riding at all.
Oh, that's so crazy. And even just imagine leaning into the turns, and those are all the cool photos that you see. But it's exciting.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. If you ever get the opportunity to do a track day, definitely do it.
I'll go with me. Once I will work up to that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of tracks that'll rent you a suit and rent you a bike, so you don't have to invest in the gear and everything.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a game changer for any motorcycle rider. I tell, and Strange Ones, that we strive to get people out onto the racetrack. We've actually, together with one of our sponsors, have rented Revving Road Racetrack.
Okay.
For a track day that we're doing July 25th of this year.
Okay.
So, again, it's just trying to get these guys out there to learn to better their skills, and what better place to do it than a racetrack.
That's amazing. Well, that's really great.
Yeah.
Great job, guys. That sounds exciting.
Yeah, we're really
Reaching
excited
a whole
about
track.
that. Yeah, we're really excited about that.
Do you do that every year, or is this your first?
This is the first time we've ever done it. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So we're gonna have some incredible coaches out there, we'll be having some fun in July. And I wouldn't be able to do it without my team. It's not just me. My boyfriend Martin is an incredible help. He handles the logistics of things, the finances of things. You know, I'm not good with, you know, saving money and balancing the books and all that stuff.
You're visionary.
I'm like, if it's worth it, I'm spending it. And he's the one that says, okay, you know, let's spend this much or let's do that. But he comes up with a lot of our t-shirt designs. He's very witty, so like a lot of the things just come out of his mouth. I'm like, that's a t-shirt. But then, you know, I've got a whole team. I've got my best friend Joey Brown is on the team. We've got Tony. We've got Will, who was a founding rider. He was one of the first 5. Joey came shortly after. And we've got Riley. Riley is a young up-and-coming rider, and I think he's going to be incredible on the track. He's fast, he's skilled. He's actually getting his elbow down, not just his knee. Yeah, he's a pretty impressive rider. And then we've got a pretty good team of guys that, and then we've got Dan. Dan is he's another creative, always coming up with something to better the business. But it's a good team.
Stuck with each other and just grew.
Oh yeah. I mean, we've been a strong team for 5 years now. Where we host events. We do we're doing a poker run April 12th. So we've got 5 stops, and you know, then we've got the end route where it's a big party, and it's gonna be fun. We do a lot of fun stuff. So
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What do you think are the biggest misconceptions people have about the motorcycle community?
Oh, that's a good one. So I see this meme all the time, and it's a picture of like a group of motorcyclists, and it says, you know, it's something like these guys are a-holes, you know, and we get that a lot, you know, where if we're in a big group, I guess it's intimidating to drivers. A lot of drivers don't understand that we try to move as a convoy, and we're not trying to weave traffic, but we're trying to find opportunities in the traffic patterns where all of us can move at the same time. And we're not doing it to overtake you or to scare you. But that's a misconception to get when there's a big group of us, you know.
But there's safety in numbers.
Yeah.
That's the same. I was saying until I started riding, I didn't realize how dangerous motorcycle riding is. There's nothing between you and everything else. So riding in a group, it's safer, and I don't know. I know riding can seem intimidating. The riders can seem intimidating to the cars, but the cars like you have this big metal box around you. Like what's gonna happen to you if a motorcyclist moves in front of you? Nothing. But what's gonna happen if you move in front of a motorcyclist? Yeah. So it's really interesting, and I think people are like, "Oh man, motorcyclists, they're loud. They have these bright colors, all of this," but that's for safety. That's so that you see us and hear us. And it's such a flip of the mind. Because you know, I don't want to ride around and have people be intimidated, but I hope they are aware.
Yeah,
that we're here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so like misconceptions that, you know, that we're bad people, that we can't be trusted. I mean, everywhere we go, my favorite thing to do is to put kids on my bike. You know, we pull into a parking lot and little kids standing there looking at the bike. I'm like, come on, get on it, start it up, rev it up. And, you know, I've had parents go, oh wow, you know, I didn't think you guys were gonna be nice. And I mean, we've got to keep the sport alive. We've got to keep it going. And also, like, we're people just like everybody else. You know, we're not out there doing anything crazy. We're just riding around trying to have some fun.
For me, getting into motorcycling, it's really been one of the most inviting and welcoming communities I've ever been in. So it's pretty much the opposite of what people tell you.
It's
just so crazy.
I mean, I know with 150 members of Strange Ones, I could call any of them at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday and say I need help, and they would drop what they were doing and come help me. And not just me, anybody in the group. You know, I mean, we've got our little Facebook page, and somebody will say, hey, I'm moving, and 14 people will show up to help.
Wow,
so
that's so nice.
Yeah.
That's a good community.
Yeah, it is. So if you are looking to join us and you're in the Charleston area, you can find us on Facebook, Strange Ones Motorsports LLC. You can find us on TikTok and Instagram as Strange Ones Motorsports. And you can also check out our In the Works website, strangeonesmotorsports.com.
Well, thanks so much, Ella. I look forward
Thank
to our next panel.
Yeah.
Just you and
And the girls.
Strange Ones.
Yes, yes.
All right.
All right.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.